for those of you who didn't see this last week, the one in the clear bag grew, and you can see the leaves are very what? Wet. They are wet, but they're very green. All right. Then, if we take the ones out of the black bag, it's alive, but it's not as green as the other bag, as the clear bag, right? Okay, and it's a little bit shorter, okay? Not a lot shorter. Now, what we did is we took one that looks like this from the black bag, and I stuck it into the green bag, all right? And I labeled them like moved. That means it was in the other one, and we moved it. And so the one that got moved out of the black bag and into the green bag is now, or into the clear bag, is now nice and green. So if you know that this one is now nice and green, what do you predict this one's going to look like? It's going to be like this yellowish color. So this one, when we moved it last week, it actually was green, but it's not green anymore. Okay, it's very pale. So one of the maroon students, or maroon team students, said at the end of when I showed him this last week, they said it had to do with the chlorophyll, which he's correct. Plants give in their cells, they make chlorophyll, which gives them their green color. You hopefully know, because you've been studying photosynthesis, that's the process that they make their own food with, right? So what would happen if I left these plants in the black bags? Go ahead, what would happen? They would eventually die. Well, why were they able to grow in the first place? If they could, because we know that plants use sunlight, water, and carbon dioxide to make food to live. Then why were they even able to grow in the first place if they didn't have all those things? Yes, sir? All right. Yes, ma'am?
Because they had the carbon dioxide and the little water cycle, and they still had a little sunlight, but not as much as the other ones.
Well, the ones in the black bag actually didn't have any sunlight. It was the sunlight was being stopped from penetrating the bag. Yes, sir?
Well, what happened was, instead of sunlight hitting it, it was heat hitting it from the black bag, and then the water cycle inside of the bag also.
Okay, well, if we use that theory, then if I left these in the black bag, they would still get their heat and they wouldn't die, right? So the seed that we planted actually had some stored nutrients in it, and that's why it was able to grow. Now, it's going to use up all that stored nutrients that it has, and if it uses all that up, it's going to die. But if it continues to make nutrients and make the glucose that it uses, using the sunlight, the water, and the nutrients, the carbon dioxide, then that's how it will continue to live. Okay? So that's why they both grew, the black bag and the clear bag, because it had stored nutrients inside of the cells in the seed. And if it doesn't get those three things, the sunlight, the water, and the carbon dioxide, it won't be able to continue to make the glucose that it needs to survive. All right, does anybody have any questions? In your science notebook, you need to open to page 6 where we've been working on the photosynthesis lab. We made a prediction, what we thought would happen to the plants when we put one in the black bag and one in the clear bag. We saw that they both grew, but the ones in the black bag were a yellowish color and the ones in the clear bag were a dark green color. Then we took one from the black bag and put it in the clear bag, and one from the clear bag and put it in the black bag. Now that you have seen what happened from that second little experiment, you're going to write results. The one moved to the clear bag, changed to a darker color green, and the one to the black bag changed to a pale yellow-ish green. You don't have to put exactly what I put. You can put it in your own words, but you do need to think about the experiment and understand what happened, because the sunlight wasn't there to give the plants the energy that they needed to produce their own food. They couldn't produce chlorophyll, and they couldn't produce the sugar. So as time goes on, and as those plants stay in the black bags, they will die because they don't have the energy from the sunlight to make their own glucose to eat.